for today is by Dr. Nargiz Alimova, head of the Department of History of Fergana State University, and our wonderful, amazing, beautiful, and young Parvina Ismoilova, PhD candidate from the same department, same Fergana State University, with the presentation of several notes on the ideas of Jadidism in Turkestan. Parvina, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, dear participants. And today I'm going to give a brief report about some comments on the Enlightenment ideas of the Jadis in the Turkestan region. And firstly, I would like to start about that at the end of the 19th century, a new force which would play an extremely important role in the social-political life of the region was slowly maturing in the depth of the Turkestan society. This powerful social force was represented in the person of local intellectual progressives, united in the movement known as Jadidism. As like that mentioned at previous, Jadidism, what is it? It's just like the Arabic word and means Jadid is new, like the new method. And this kind of the activity appeared in order to just like the group of Muslim modernizers in the Turkestan region, and they emerged in response to the challenge posed by Russian colonial rule and sought to modernize Central Asian society while preserving Islamic values. And the origin of this kind of the ideology, origin of this kind of the movement, of course, was like the Ismail Gasprinsky or Ismail Gaspirali, and he just like started to promote his ideas on not only in his like the Crimean state but also all of the Central Asian territories, and he also like known as the father of Jadidism. And this kind of the movement also appeared in the Turkestan, and the enlightenment activities of the Jadis of Turkestan were mainly of the another kind of the name of this kind of the term maybe can be said at the reformist nature. And the first like the movement of Jadidism movement was educational reform, and why this kind of the education on enlightenment system was so very important for the Turkestan Jadis, because they tried to propagate their views and ideas. They found the most effective way of creating a national theater. The theaters became powerful mass means of propaganda of their ideology. And as like that, the previous speaker Utkirjan also like mentioned about the theater. This theater name was like the Turan, and this kind of the Turan was founded by the Abdullah Abloni. And one of the interesting points that the first play which was like the acted in this kind of the theater was named like the Patricide or the Padarkush, which was written by Mahmud Hoja Behbudi. Mahmud Hoja Behbudi also well known in Turkestan like the father of the Jadidism in Turkestan. And other like the Jadis, Abdurrauf Fitrat and Munawar Kari. Abdurrauf Fitrat is the founder of the Uzbek literature, and Munawar Kari also like the founded a different kind of the libraries, and wrote different kind of the article which started to propagate the idea of Jadidism in our Turkestan place. And so in this way Turkestan Jadis used print media to produce new method textbooks, newspapers and magazines, in addition to new plays and literature and distinctly innovative idiom. And the main slogan and idea was freedom, equality, and justice. Well, in this way, the idea of Jadidism, or the idea of Jadidism in Turkestan, also had 6 main key points. And the first one, as all of our the participants also mentioned about it, is educational reform, because the Jadis emphasizes the importance of education as a means of enlightenment and social progress. They called for modernization of the traditional Islamic educational system, introducing subjects such as science, math, and literature alongside religious studies. This was in line with Enlightenment ideals of rationality and empirical inquiry. And the second point and the second key is just the secularization. As our scholar from India also mentioned about it, because while the Jadidis were devoted Muslims, they advocated for the separation of religious and secular spheres, a principle of religious tolerance and individual freedom. They sought to modernize governance by promoting the rule of law and advocating for constitutional reforms, aiming to create a more just and equitable society. And of course, like our Fergana State University professor and lecturer Bahadur Janganif also mentioned about women's rights. Of course, Jadidist movement also promote the women's rights, because the Jadids were pioneers in advocating for women's education and rights in Central Asia. They believed in the importance of educating women to improve society and promote gender equality, reflecting Enlightenment ideals of human rights and gender equality. And of course, I think that the main the significant is cultural revival. Despite their embrace of modernization, the Jadidis also sought to preserve and revive Central Asian cultural identity. They promoted the use of the Turkic language in education and literature, aiming to reclaim indigenous cultural heritage from the influence of Russian colonialism. Because at that time appeared the new types school, Russian type school, and in this way, Jadidis pioneers also trying to establish the Jadidistical school or Jadidism school. So it was some kind of the competitional points, but basically I think that's our the Jadidist ancestor were able to do and organize their idea. And another key point is intellectual exchange. The Jadidis were influenced by ideas from both the Islamic world and beyond, engaging in intellectual exchange with intellectuals from other Muslim majority region as well as Europe. Their openness to diverse ideas and cultures mirrors Enlightenment values of cosmopolitanism, and cultural exchange. And the last one is critique of tradition. Like Enlightenment thinkers criticize the traditional authority of the church in Europe, of course, they even make some kind of the comparison with European states. Jadidis at the same time questioned the entrenched power structures of the Central Asia society, including the authority of traditional religious and political elites. They advocated for a more meritocratic and inclusive society based on knowledge and expertise rather than birthright. Well, and in this way, I would like to summarize about the Enlightenment ideas of Jadidis in the Turkestan region represented a complex blend of modernization, Islamic reform, and cultural revival, echoing broader trends of intellectual affirmation and social changes in the late 19th and early 20th century, basically in the under of the Russian colonial period's time. Thank you very much for your attention.